Hello again, YouTube. I'm doing another video. It's Izzy. I might do a few in a row right now because I haven't really done any videos in a while, so I want to do a couple of them on a little video rampage. But I want to touch on a topic that I've kind of poked at a little bit, but I haven't really gone into the two-party illusion in America, in our election process, in our whole government system. If you don't, in case you didn't know, in America we have two parties that these are pretty much the only parties that have been elected in I think about roughly 150 years. There's been no other parties that have got anyone elected into presidency or anything. The Democrats and the Republicans. For as long as I can remember, for a long time, the parties have been getting backed by lobbies, and in the last probably 30-40 years they've been getting increased help from lobbies, which are representatives of companies that they have dinner parties with and stuff like that, and they can do what's called vote trading, which they buy off. They can say, I'll give you $100,000 if you or stock in my company or something like that if you vote this way, if you vote that down, which is very terrible because it interrupts the democratic process entirely. It destroys the whole purpose of us voting someone into office. That's why I don't believe in representational democracy. I believe in absolute democracy, which is where all of us, all 300 million of us, could vote, which I believe could happen. Since now we're in the internet age, we have mass communications, we could all probably vote for pretty much everything. We could in turn be our own Congress. I believe that's a really strong idea that I want to push and develop maybe over the next few years. I think maybe even write a paper about it. I don't know, something like that. Maybe get it published. But the real struggle we have right now is this control over who we can pick. We can only pick from two parties. We only have two issues. It polarizes the country vigorously. It destroys us. It's not good for the country. And since you can buy off the votes, so the parties are each backed by different lobbies, and now we can't. Now us, the voters, the people, have no say in anything that is going to happen. It's become now the big business that controls what happens in our government, what policies are passed, and whatnot. This is a huge problem in our government, and it's terrible to me to see it happen, and it's been happening for so long. I think it came very, very strong when the neoconservative movement started by Leo Strauss in the I can't remember, I think it was the University of Chicago. He had a few different Republican going to be Republican high-level politicians. He had something Pearl, Wolfowitz, Dick Cheney, and Rumsfeld, along with a bunch of other people that eventually became strong politicians of the Republican Party. They pushed the neoconservative movement, which is something that has been plaguing us since Nixon is about the time when it started to strike. So Nixon, Ford further pushed the agenda. The first Bush, strongly pushed the agenda. Reagan was the godfather, basically, of the neoconservative movement, and young Bush, too, as well. He continued it and has very much destroyed the country that we now live in, and has polarized us to no ends. There's the crazy liberals on one end, and then there's the religious crazies on the other, and our country is almost split in half. It's almost Civil War-like. Yeah, it's hard to hear, but it's almost Civil War-like what this country's becoming. Because of this, because of the neoconservatives, our country has changed its policies. We've gone further and further into debt. Every time they're in power, we go further and further into debt. They always say that they're for smaller government, but that's not true at all. They support bigger government controlling individual freedom, which I think is the thing that we're supposed to be pushing for and progressing in society right now is individual freedom. They're actually taking it away. They're pushing us towards a totalitarian fascism is almost what it's like. Corporations controlling the market and controlling everything we do and say, watching us all the time. the Bush, all the Bush doctrines and the um, Homeland Security and the restrictions in America that have been going on, especially since Bush, but also during all the other times that I mentioned, that have been crippling our country. I believe that the only way to get out of this is to stop voting for the parties that we have been voting for. It's destroying us. The new conservatives, along with their new off branch, the Tea Partyists, who say they're libertarians, but that's not really true. They're not for individual freedoms. They're pretty much just stupid neoconservatives, is what they are. They're the idiotic Republicans that have branched off to have their own little party, to have their own little movement. If you ask 10 of them the same question, they'll all have different answers, and they'll all be pretty much dumb, idiotic answers that have no factual basis. You can watch New Left Media, or the Young Turk, or I don't know, lots of other people have examples of this. But I'm already pissed off enough, so I'm going to be leaving now. Peace.